Yeah, g'day YouTubers. Tinker O'Toole again here with another video. Today we're going to talk about the chainsaw rocking motion, and we've spoken about before many other times. But some interesting things come alight. Somebody brought something to my attention, and guy's name's Adam. He's a fairly regular user on the channel. And he was showing me a picture that he'd noticed on the Husqvarna X-Cut S35G. And where you got the heel and toe, for those people that don't know, this is the heel and this is the toe. And typically on most chainsaw chains, you'll find out that the distance from the rivet to the heel is shorter at this end and it's longer at that end. So you could virtually measure any chain and you'll find out that the distance between the rivet and the bottom is different from one end to the other end. But if we look at this picture up here, this picture is the Husqvarna X-Cut S35G. And you can really see it. I mean, it really stands out. You can see that gap, so I think it's improved. What that actually does, for those that don't know, and really seems to be fairly large on this one, is that improves the rocking motion. When a chainsaw tooth comes around, it has this rocking motion. As it strikes timber, the raker will stop it from biting anymore, so it has this rocking motion. So if this is actually lower, this end is a little bit lower, when the timber strikes it, it pushes on the rail. So if it's a little bit lower, or if it's off the rail while it's traveling along, the moment that it strikes, it hits the rail. And this is also why that you've got this angle on top here, because this angle also helps that when it strikes and it goes down like that, with the pulling motion, it's got to be able to sit flat again. So that rocking motion, yeah, on that Husqvarna one, it's interesting. Now, I took a picture of my this particular chain here. Now, this is Husqvarna's X-Cut C85. And if we look at the picture up on the top left-hand corner, you can also see where this is a 20-inch chain. You can see at the back where the heel is that it's not touching. So this is the drive links, and it's also the actual tooth itself, the cutter tooth. So the heel, we refer to the tie strap and we say, oh, this is the toe, this is the heel. And it's exactly the same thing on the cutter. The back of the cutter, if you're to measure it, is actually where the rivet is to the toe, and the heel is different heights. So this aids the rocking motion. Okay, so the other thing that's really important that helps the rocking motion, definitely if you've got a little bit of a gap there and the heel is just off the bar, it will definitely aid in the rocking motion. So the other thing that certainly helps rocking motion is having the correct tension. If your chain's too loose is a dangerous and bad thing, and if your chain's too tight, that's no good either. So to get the right rocking motion, make sure that your chain tension is right. I like to be able to pull the chain down so that I can just see the tip of the drive link or the bottom of the drive link. And if you let it go and it snaps back, it's only a fraction of a millimeter off the bar. And that's a good tension. And the other thing, if you can move it around the chain around the bar quite easily, that's another good indication that the tension's pretty good. But certainly you don't have it on the loose side, because that's safety as well. I've had chains come off because I've had them too loose. That was many years ago, but these days I sort of make sure that the chain tension is right. So that's probably about it. I don't know why that Husqvarna have got almost double the amount of gap on their heel. They were actually brought out their X-Cut a lot earlier, and a lot of other people are copying that little point that comes down on an angle. Yeah. So there are some definite changes that are out there, and because of the patents are all expired on semi-chisel and full chisel, Stills Hexa actually has a worldwide patent. Now, I've never seen a patent on Husqvarna's X-Cut, so that's interesting. Maybe there is, I'm not 100% sure, but I haven't seen one. I'm not aware of it anyway. But it's interesting because there was a period of time there, probably going back 20 so years ago, that there wasn't much change in the chainsaw geometry. Semi-chisel was semi-chisel, full chisel was full chisel. You know, this distance between the toe and the heel and the gap stayed like that for years and years. And then we started to see, Husqvarna started to come out with their X-Cut, and Still got their Hexa, and the geometry, there was a few little changes, narrower kerf chains in the 0.325, and both X-Cut and Hexa have a narrower kerf too. So we're seeing little changes there, and we're also seeing a lot of manufacturers are also bringing out the top plate cutting angle is coming down on it's nice and straight for the first millimeter or millimeter and a half. So we're seeing that's fairly common on a lot of chains at the moment, that little pointy tip on the full chisel. So full chisel, I think, is gaining a little bit of popularity. Certainly semi-chisel is the chain that most people use. Personally, I prefer full chisel because I don't use full chisel in a dirty application. It's always clean wood that I'm cutting. I remember somebody saying once that, if they're cutting trees down that's near a road, don't use full chisel because the tree will be all covered in dirt and crap, and it's the quickest way to blunt your tooth, which is probably correct. So if you're in a clean environment, then I like to use full chisel, and certainly where it's a dirty environment, use semi-chisel. Anyway, that's my take on the gap that aids. It may also, as I said, it may aid a little bit of vibration. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's hard to get this information. A lot of these chainsaw companies are not going to be forthcoming with all their little secrets. They like to have the edge over each other, so they don't like to tell too much, except to say that theirs outperforms others, etc., etc. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.